Mm, mm. Bum. Hey, what is up? Welcome to episode 4 of the Brilliant Blues. I'm CrunkChocolate, 1/3 of the Brilliant Blues, and I'm here with my amazing show bros. We got John. We got Dillon. How's it going, guys? It's been a month. I missed you guys. I'm so excited for tonight.
Missed you too. We're gonna get the energy up at some point here.
Eventually,
it was better than it was the last time.
That is fair,
right?
I think it's about the same. I think it's about the same.
Wait, are we a loss to Crystal Palace in an FA Cup Finals, even playing fields with losing to Real Madrid now?
Yeah. Honestly,
you think so?
Yeah. Just because.
Well, I guess
I will say because we had so much. Like, this was our last chance for any semblance of success, and that's the first topic. But I mean, we can talk about this right now. But it's like we didn't get that. The way we didn't win, the way we lost, it was just like incredibly frustrating, demoralizing, and the games before leading up to it where we didn't do what we needed to do. And we sit in this very weird place. Like, will we get Champions League? Which is also another topic that we'll discuss. But yeah. For a team that I should be so confident in, these last couple of games has ruined all confidence in the club that they had built over, I guess, the previous 3 or 4 games. It was.
So, not a professional podcaster. I'm now understanding that I think I worded the question wrong. I felt like this was way worse. That's what I meant?
Oh, okay.
Right? Like we're all on the same page. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dillon?
Yeah. Oh, it was awful.
It is worse. Don't get me wrong. I think it's more of. It's just a somber. It's like a somber time. I think the Real Madrid loss was like fairly expected, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's just a weird. I think maybe more for me and Crunk. I think this might be more surprising for you. I've been pretty calm about everything. I had a minor panic attack this morning. Not actually, but like there was a news drop that we can talk about, and it all kind of hit me in a moment. And I haven't really processed it until kind of just now when I have a microphone in front of my mouth. So
hey, that's the best time to process, baby. Let's talk it out. You're in a very safe space with friends, and I mean, okay. I guess let me look at our topics. FA Cup, summer recruitment. That can be Florian Wirtz. So let's talk a little bit more about this FA Cup. Big picture. Pep has been saying for months, for the weeks leading up to the FA Cup final, that winning the FA Cup, that still doesn't mean that the season would be a success. It would be a good step. It would be something to bring us some joy, but the season, you cannot say it's been a success. And I completely agree. Now that we have not won the FA Cup, now that 4 points is needed, we have to win at least one of these next 2 games. Win and draw, preferably win both, so we can comfortably be in the position that we are. And even then, we still kind of have to rely on other teams to fumble and struggle. It's not a out and out situation.
2 wins in, we're in because we have a game in hand. Yeah, 2 wins, we're in. Fortunately. But,
well, yeah. I mean, let's start with you, my brother. Like, how would you describe the season? Like, us getting into Champions League can give us a slight bump, but after this FA Cup loss, how would you describe the season? Like, is it as easy enough to just call it a loss of a season?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lost season wholeheartedly. But to be honest, and I said this as much on my YouTube show after the Rodri injury, we've known this since September. At least for me, I said the moment City aren't winning the league without Rodri. I mean, the fact that City won the league last year was frankly kind of shocking. And it really took Phil Foden reaching like true best, one of the best in the world levels to kind of drag that team through. Yeah, it's a lost year. It's a lost season. I hope that it's a real kind of kick in the ass, but I think there's been some developments that kind of make it seem like this transfer window is a little bit of a make or break type of thing for what the next few years of City are going to be. It's a real make or break moment.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think that like just the deflation, I've not really felt this way about any like anything that has to do with City. If you want to talk about domestic sports, being a Cleveland fan, this is just normal. Like I'm good.
Run of the mill.
Like I'm just like this is a random Monday. You know what I mean? But I think you're right. I think it's just like I guess I was when we all jumped on here. I kind of wanted to be like, what stage of like grief are you all in? Like, what stage of like recovery are we in? Type of thing. And I think I was fully in denial on the summer transfer window until like I read your like what you added to our rundown. And then I'm just like, all right, so there's so many different things that we have to balance. It's how to actually build a squad that can compete again at the level we're expecting, right? Compete at that level. How are we going to what's the transition going to look like too? Because like what pieces are actually get brought in that are going to stay post Pep, something you have to consider. And then like who is post Pep? What are we doing here? Like what like we're kind of in a weird dating limbo. Like a lot of our texts are still on red. Like we're not getting any feedback from anybody. Do we get on the apps? Do we get off the apps? What are we doing? That type of thing. And this is coming from a man. Yeah,
They
right.
don't respond to text. They're just busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. I haven't been able to go out. Like it's just one of those weird things where I feel like we're dating our longtime girlfriend again, and it just feels awkward. And we're just like, what's going on? It's weird. It's definitely weird.
And I mean, I'm with you, especially with all of the players that you would think should be playing harder or more tapped in because they want to prove that they need to stay. And I don't know. We lost Dillon for a sec.
I think that's an omen.
We triggered him. We triggered him talking about exes. He was just like,
exactly.
Yo.
Exactly. I mean, I felt comfortable. My wife's in the other room. Like she was cool with me having that comment, but like, yeah, no, Dillon's out. Kruk, I think that's such a good point. And when he gets back on, we can like continue on with it with him. But there's people back. Love it. We thought we pissed you off. You're just like, oh man, they're too jovial right now.
I clicked on the button and it just opened in my current window, which was awesome.
Right when you bounced off, Crunk mentioned he was like, you would expect some of these players to either be playing harder to like try to solidify a spot, end of this year, next year, but also I would have figured some of these people that we knew were leaving would be playing at a certain level or trying to play at a certain level so that they could get picked up somewhere else too, or like get sold on, or like I do think that it's not an experiment anymore. This is Pep's team. It's been Pep's team for a while, but I think that it's run the course on a good amount of people here now. And I think that's also like kind of tough, even though we've jumped on here 3 different times and been like, who would you get rid of? And we're like, everybody, but like 4 or 5 people, but like everybody. And now it's finally like, we're coming to that bridge. And it's just what it is.
Oh, okay. For this match, I just don't want to get too much in the weeds in this game. Actually, in fact, I lied. I said I don't want to get into the weeds. I'm about to dive all in it. I'm about to put on a tinfoil hat. And I'm not really big on like conspiracies and pushing all of this nonsense. But the VAR assistant, his name is Darren Can. He was a youth player for Crystal Palace. He played for Crystal Palace with Ian Wright, Gareth Southgate. And in fact, that FA Cup was his last match of his refereeing career. He retired after that game.
Hell yeah.
Like
Damn.
it made that so the first half, the end of the first half, I posted on social media uh, on the SOB account where I was like, hey, that non-call for Henderson, that's not even like the top 3 things that have annoyed me, because it's just overall the team hasn't played the best. And then the show bros like quote tweeted and they're like, hey, we do not agree with the statement. Whoever the admin is on their own. But now that we have lost, because I was like, hey, if we end up coming back and winning, then we can be like, hey, everybody's against us, and look what happened. But now that we have lost and they struggled and all the time wasting and just so much bullshit behind the match. And then finding out about this Derek Can dude, it's just like, what is going on? I know people hate City. I know they want us out of here because I'm gonna be honest, nothing's gonna happen with this 115. Well, I don't say nothing. Yeah, nothing compared to what they want to happen to Man City is going to happen. I'm just this is the way that they're gonna get back at us, is just being bullshit. And even I feel like someone admitted also that they just didn't want to give the red card because they knew of how bad it was gonna flip the game. But also that's like what? So I'm frustrated. Let's start on. When that call happened, now hearing this information about Darren Can, does it feel like evil shenanigans, conspiracy theory, or are you just chopping it up to, hey, the English referees are shit?
I think it's just general incompetence.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. I mean, like, I like the narrative, Crunk. I think you like built this up really well. But I kind of sat there and I was just like, this is VARing. Like, this is just what we expect now. Like, I don't know.
The other thing too with Darren Can, I've following the sport for as long as I've followed the sport, I've quite literally written articles like for City Extra and City Report on like, this is who the manager is, like a little like quick 100 words. This is who the manager is for this match, their record with City, yada yada yada. This guy's been managing in the Premier League for 30 years, and I have no recognition of his name at all whatsoever. And to me, no, not in like not that he doesn't exist. It's like, if I don't know who you are,
you're doing your job.
You're doing your job. Like, we're all NBA fans. When I see Scott Foster officiating a game, I know some shit's gonna go down. I'm like, oh, okay, something's gonna happen. The extender memes, all of that. It's not Mike Dean. Like, there are certain Anthony Taylor, Michael Oliver. There are certain refs, and shit's gonna go crazy. It is wild to be a Premier League referee for 30 years.
And just
nothing.
I think that's a really gracious point. That's a really, really gracious point. Again,
but for it to be your last match ever, it's genius.
Yeah.
to be like, I'm going to be the most impartial referee, and then in my final moment, it's like, was it a goal scoring opportunity? Because look where Haaland ended up with the ball, and it's just like, if you don't think about it, you're like, oh well, he did. He was close to the corner, and it's like, well, he was close to the corner because he slapped it away. No one offered a dissenting, viewpoint. Maybe he was the one in that moment. He's like, I'm not going to say anything.
You kind of almost respect it to your point, right? Like, you're just like, man, illustrious career, played it right by the book, like a true Boy Scout. And then at the final hour, you're just like, watch how fucked up I can actually be. The thing that I just didn't understand, and paint me as like somebody who doesn't understand VAR all the time as best I try, is like, there was just, you talk about inconclusive evidence or he touched the ball and the ball was outside of the box. Like, that's the thing that I was just like, this is like cut and dry. It's pretty easy. This should be quick. And then I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the still from the sidelines where his hand is just so clearly over the ball, batting it away. I just like, how sometimes it's like, oh, VAR didn't have this angle, which is like crazy. I don't understand how that happens, where it's like, I'm 8 hours away. I am in Los Angeles, and I have a better viewpoint than the actual people calling the match. I don't understand how that happens.
Mhm.
I couldn't, but like in the moment I was like, oh, I'm not really sure. And then you see that angle, it was a no-brainer. Like and that being said, even if Henderson gets subbed off, I have no idea if City score. And that's like not
Good
like,
point.
and it's not even from like and here's the other thing, I don't think City were bad. I think City played really well. I think that was one of the better performances that City have put in this season. Palace defended so incredibly well. It'd be a hell of a lot harder to do with 10 versus 11. But, like,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that City would have done anything anyways, regardless.
Not to sound like my dad, who was my coach all growing up, but it's like you didn't lose the game because of that. You lost the game because you missed the penalty, and then you didn't score. Like you can't win with 0. And, like, that's the bigger issue where there's been too many games this year where I just don't know where we're going to score from. I don't know where a goal is going to. I can't even like fathom the chances. Like I'm just like, this is backwards from
It's
what
Doku.
it was. Yeah.
Doku has the entire weight of final third chances on his back.
Yes.
Like it is a De Bruyne ball, like just magic ball, and he's going to throw in 30 of them, and 2 of them might be good. Like he had the one early on where Haaland put the foot on it and couldn't get that much strength. And then it's just like, hey, Doku, you're the best in the world at dribbling by someone, so just go do that, and let's hope for the best. And, like, no, he's not the best at crossing. And, like, the Doku discourse actually makes me want to, like, play in traffic. But but it's just like he is the only one. He could be better at crossing. He isn't. He's a child, so he might be better as he gets older. But it's just like that's what it is. And we couldn't do anything else.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Like you said, the reliance that they have on Doku to create every single chance. It's like, what do you supporters want? He will dribble. He'll take the ball from like halfway, dribble all the way up, suck in 3 defenders, and then you're supposed to expect him to lay the perfect cross into Haaland, who literally needs the ball a foot away from him for him to do anything. And he's not going to adjust to you. He's not going to try to read your movements. He's never going to make a front post run. Not once. Yeah. And like that's the thing that frustrates me. Like Doku gets so much hate when it's a team game. So it's like, what do you see the other people around him doing? And even if Haaland moves up, like who's the trailing run?
Yeah.
Like there are just so many other things that the team isn't doing, and for Doku's final product to be the thing that everyone's like, get rid of him. I was like, fuck off. Like, bro, it's just so frustrating.
I've really never seen anything like him. It's he's an unbelievable. I've never seen someone that is that good at getting past someone. It's really like, it's pretty crazy. Like it is, especially in like modern soccer where like dribbling is much more difficult. You don't see dribblers like that. And he does it at such a ridiculous rate. I really hope he figures it out. And I
think it'll be easier when teams don't put all 11 players, all 10 outfield players behind the ball. Yeah. Like that's just what Crystal Palace, like even Mateta was all the way back, running back and forth. It's it's so tough when you're battling against a bank of 5-1-5. It's impossible, and it's just so frustrating that's. And the only way that you can get teams to stop doing that is by battering teams when they do that. So it's kind of frustrating. And I don't think a new manager is going to be able to be the person who figures out how to beat a team parking the bus, because that's something that has kind of been a struggle for every manager since the dawn of football.
Do you ever feel, though, not to play a little devil's advocate here, but and trust me, like,
what if Doku sucks? No, I'm kidding.
no, not that. But like the thing, and I know it's the antithesis of how Pep plays, and like I don't want Pep going anywhere. Like I wish he was here forever. Don't think that this is like I'm just being some like anti person right now. I fully am aware of this. Do you guys ever think though that the inability to change anything when people park the bus for us over the past couple of years is like kind of just like what the fuck are we doing? Like pucks on net maybe type of thing where it's like let's like take some shots and
Mhm.
no, seriously, I've said that
Well,
before
with you.
on my old pod where I'm just like, I don't know, Marmouche, maybe let a rip or like outside of the 18 or and look, I think to me saying that is like also being frustrated when somebody does that and then skies it 15 feet above the bar and you're just like, what the fuck are we doing? But at the same time, there's having the contrast with my brother, who's like a huge Liverpool fan, of like when Liverpool was really going with like Klopp and like it was us making almost like a Hoosiers level like third pass for the perfect thing, and I'd just be sitting there, it's like just shoot, like what the fuck, like, and Liverpool always just being like boom, boom, boom. I do think that there's a little bit of like let's shoot the ball, like what like this sounds like a moron saying this. I understand that, but it's just like deflected, rebounded, garbage goals. Like that's kind of how you beat a park bus. Is like it's not supposed to work, and then something happens because you have more of the ability, you have more of the skill. Put the ball in places where you can score. I don't know.
I think that works when Vardiol and Foden, De Bruyne, and Rodri are all, playing. That's something where those are all players who have shown an ability to score from, behind the or outside the box. Like Foden, how many times did he get an inch of space on the edge of the box and curl it into the top corner last year? Rodri, same thing. I mean, it wasn't against the park bus, but I think of the goal against Bayern is one of the greatest goals I've ever seen on a weak foot, by the way. But I mean, he did it against West Ham. He's done it time and time again, Rodri, where he kind of scores from the edge of the box. Vardiol has kind of developed this as well. When none of those guys are really playing, Doku has a decent shot on him, but he's going to have 3 players on him. So he can't, it's just going to be blocked. It's going to be like a Grealish thing where every shot gets blocked. Savinho hasn't really shown to be able to kind of shoot in any kind of way like that. Holland is always going to be he's not going to be back there. He has a decent shot from outside the box, but he's never, the way that our team plays, he's never going to be in a position for that. That's just the only thing. It's up to Diaz, who low key, I actually, even though he's only really scored 1, I do actually think he has a decent shot on him. Or the Kyle Walker shot from 35 yards that was always looks somewhat dangerous, but never quite goes in, is basically what those options have been for the last few years. And I think that's the down is it's basically on De Bruyne to pull out some magic, which he still can sometimes do, but it's not coming from Bernardo. It's not really coming from Gundogan.
It is it's such a good point. I want them to do something that we just do not have. We're not equipped for big man type of thing. We don't have the facilities for it basically. And it's frustrating and annoying, but it's you want. It's almost like you're playing Route 1 football 18 yards in. And it's make the goalie make a play, 1, and then react to the ball where it's in a dangerous situation. And I don't know. I know I sound like a middle school
Sean
American
Dyche.
Soccer coach right now. Yeah, big time. I'm scoring half Sean Dyche right now. And I get it. I know how I sound. I'm not trying to be hey, I have a great idea. But sometimes I just am
why don't they just run the score the goal play? And why don't they run that every time?
But it's kind of the soccer version of what did Joe Burrow say? Fuck it, Jamar's down there somewhere. Kick the ball at the goalie.
Facts.
What are we doing? I don't know.
That was the joke once upon a time, was the what was it, the cat and the 2 cats in the snow, and it's just fuck it, Holland's here. And, I feel we haven't done that at all this season, and there have been multiple times when Marmouche is making a run and he's pointing, being hey, just hit it over here. And all you gotta do is just hit the ball anywhere near me. I have the speed and the technical ability that if I can get a foot on it, I should be able to win the duel. And there's just a level of trust in each other that isn't here, that we have been able to experience over the last few years. And I don't know how you get that. Is it because of these players have just been in Pep mode for so many years, they're just too afraid to lose the ball? Or, like I said, it's just simply not trusting.
The trust thing, though, Crunk, that's crazy because there's still a core of this team that have literally played hundreds of games together. I don't think you're wrong. I think that's a solid call out, but it's almost if you don't trust someone after 4 seasons with them, 5 like, I mean, I guess that's just not your guy. I don't know. It's so interesting. I just want to say, I know I sound ignorant, but like in my head, I'm just like, kick the ball at the goalie. Let's see what happens. And
No, I'm with you. Like, again, just throw stuff at the wall. We obviously aren't scoring by making all of the passes and all of these crosses that we're doing to Holland that nothing comes of it. I don't know. It's frustrating. And then it's like, what was it? Because now Holland is the newest 007. 0 goals, 0 assists in 7 finals. 7 finals for City, and he hasn't contributed at all, and that's so frustrating. And even Pep, Pep even said, which it's one of those things. It's a matter-of-factly thing that can either be taken as an insult or actually I think just as an insult. But he was like, Holland, it doesn't matter where it comes from, the midfield, our wide players, our wing players, he is just the person who needs the ball given to him. Basically saying that he's not the dude who can create something. Yeah. And it's a truth, but also it's like, he does need to be fucking better. Like, bro, we're paying you damn near $1 million a week with incentives and all that stuff, and you ain't doing shit for us when it comes to it mattering.
I don't mean to kick us while we're all down. But like, am I wrong to just being like, I wish Julian Alvarez was still here a little bit,
bro? Yeah,
like that's all I thought.
It's crazy to think because he's had such a good season. He also scored an outrageous goal this weekend. I don't know if you saw the free kick.
I did.
It's funny though, and I don't think it's wrong to think that. I would be curious to hear what your thoughts were on him like 12 to 18 months ago, because he was public enemy number 1 for a lot of City fans when he was playing that Gundogan role rather poorly, I may add, and not to his fault. He was being asked to play as a midfielder, essentially, and make the late runs. But he was another person who could just, all he needed was an angle, and he could fire a shot in from anywhere. I remember Sam Lee would mention that like City would run tests on like which players like strike the ball the best, and Julian Alvarez was the one that like had the cleanest strike.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of remember that weird period, but for some reason, and this is why I could never work in sports, I think, because you have to be like super objective, obviously, all the time. And like, I'm just not like the guy. I was just like, no, I love this dude. It's so similar to like Sane. Like, I don't care what Sane did in practice. I don't care what Pep was like, no, he's like, we can't play him, whatever. I just remember sometimes watching those teams and being like, no, Sane's the best player on the field, no matter who's the 22 people are. I know that he's the most skilled. I know he's the best. Play him. And like, probably also why I couldn't be a coach, because deep down, he could be dicking around in practice, and I just be like, nah, man, you got to play him. He's the most skilled person. And I think there's probably a lot of Sane, too, in like an inch of space, and I have a chance to shoot it, let it rip. Maybe I just don't like Pep ball. And I'm coming to realize this after a bad year. I don't know. Again, what stage of grief am I in? I'm not sure. But
you're in bargaining?
I think I am. We've moved to bargaining now. Like, I'm literally just like, no, I mean, we could have, this is what should have happened. I don't know. This is what it is.
Oh my gosh. This is great.
Weirdly, with Sane, the last thing I'll say, the thing I remember most about him, and this is like very specific, if the pass was like an inch too far, I always remember him like pretending he was going to reach out to grab it and then not, and it goes out for a throw in. And like, that is like seared into my brain that it happens so often. And it just really would frustrate the hell out of me, because it's like, it's not like you're unathletic. Like, you were, from like a pure athlete standpoint, you were probably the most athletic person on the pitch. Yeah, like, it's like you and Kyle Walker were just like the two, just like peak of their powers athletes, and you're just like, it's a little too far.
I think he was the classic too. You know, when you experience, like, you have a sports experience and it revolves around one player, and then you just can't remove it from your brain, and it's just like, so I was in Madrid, and we played Schalke. I know he played there before, but weren't we playing them in the Champions League, and he had the free kick? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was it was the first time I had ever been to like a bar in Spain, and we're just watching this game. Also, the bars in Spain, the setting for where they watch soccer, not my thing, man. It's call me a dumb American, but I was like, where are the TVs at 1? And like, I just remember watching him hit it, and I was the only City fan there, obviously. And it was like the sound I produced, I've never been able to replicate type of thing. To this day, my wife brings it up. She's like, I've never heard you hit that octave. And I was like, yeah. And that's just why Leroy Sané can do no wrong in my brain. And then Julian's the same way with me. Like, I just loved him. I don't know. And when he left, it fucking sucked big time.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. Actually, I'm not with you. When he left, I'm a bitter. So once I wanted him to stay, but just paying attention to that whole situation and his parents. Well, there's just the fact that his parents were meddling and basically were just like, we want him to be the face of Germany, and he can only do that in Bayern, and blah, 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 blah. He loves City. His girl loves City. And yeah. The feet. Oh, no. For Atleti, no, you have to take that. And he wanted to go back because, again, he was the number 2, and he deserves the chance to be the number 1. But let's talk about this summer before we backtrack and talk about the last couple of games of the season. This summer recruitment is obviously it's huge. It's important because after this awful season, and what was it, the 2016-17 or 17-18 season where we were shit and then we needed to bounce back, 2016-17, and everybody, we're all doing the copium of being like, hey, we knew what happened when City played terrible that one season. What happened after that? And but the thing is, at the beginning of the season, we were all just like, yeah, City always start the season terrible, and then they figure it out. And we just kept saying that. And then there was a run of going damn near 60 days without a win. The season is such a one-off. I do want to believe that this is the beginning of another rebuild, bringing in the right players. And we'll go right back to you, Dillon, because of this. Florian Wirtz, it was announced that he has chosen, and I want to phrase it this way, he has chosen Bayern Munich. A lot of the media, a lot of the reporters were saying that City dropped out of it, personally pulled themselves from the race. But it was one of those things that it was always going to be tough for City to bring Florian to Manchester. Bayern was always number 1, and honestly, number 2 was just staying at Leverkusen for another season because he still had another year on his contract. A lot of Man City fans, even oddly just Premier League fans, have been really weird about Wirtz staying away from the Premier League. I say that, and I'm not like, you obviously feel the way that you feel. I'm not saying that you're really weird, but I don't know. It felt like a dust situation for me, but pre-pod, it sounded like you are actually, at the beginning of the pod, it sounded like you took that information a little rough. So how are you holding up about this?
I didn't think that he was necessarily, I thought he was like obviously a target. I was never one of like, oh, he's definitely going to come to City. I think with any German player, you expect there to be one team and one team only that they like would be really interested in. And when it came out, it was like, hey, his dad really wants him to go to Bayern, but he's kind of not as sure. And again, it's one of those things you're trying to read through the lines, and it's like, is that just PR speak? Is that just them being like, hey, he has a lot of influence to Bayern, but he still doesn't know yet? Is that really just his agent trying to drum up, to make sure the fee or the contract is a little bit more? So like, that's the first thing. And then when it was like, oh, hey, Bayern are also willing to pay 150 million, and they're also willing to pay him the most. So that's not good. Both of those on themselves isn't good. But then when it all was like, oh, hey, his family was in Manchester, that's when I was like, oh, shit, is there actually something that's going on here? And granted, it could have all just been a ruse to really just make sure that Bayern were to actually put the offer in. I think
that's what it was, yeah.
And it's probably exactly what it was, because I don't think that they wanted it. It seemed like within a couple days or a week, it's just, boom, all of that's now taken care of. But this is really, you don't know. You don't know when players come in. And to be completely honest, the bigger a name player that City have signed, except for Holland, the worse out it has normally gone. Like, the more I know about a player that City signed, now for moving forward, I'm almost going to be a little bit more nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a weird, because when you think about it, City have made their name and have become this team by signing players that aren't superstars. De Bruyne wasn't a superstar. I remember De Bruyne as the ginger running roughshod all over the U.S. in the 2014 World Cup and not liking him. That's all I knew about De Bruyne, was like that one performance, and he had a really good season in the Bundesliga. So with Wirtz spending that kind of money is like, and to be the De Bruyne replacement, there is never going to be a De Bruyne replacement. No one probably ever is going to have that mix of abilities put together. It's going to the pace, the power, the technical ability, the aloofness as a personality to not really like demand anything and to just be like very chill. Like that's just like not. It's probably will never happen again. And so it's maybe in a way better to not have such a big player come in with that expectation. But there is a little bit of a like, okay, what's next? And that's the part that I think is freaky, because look, I think Morgan Gibbs-White is a solid player. I think that he has played very well for a Forest team that is wildly overproducing. He's not a De Bruyne replacement, and I don't want to talk about it like he's going to be a De Bruyne replacement. I would take him at City, but I don't know what it's going to look like. And
John is about to explode.
Yeah,
because I'm laughing
at
John.
No. I was like, well, I think that you're like, we all three have very good personalities. I love this, and I think that we all like land on the same point, which you're landing on. And I didn't mean to cut you off, so I want to let you keep.
No,
going,
you're good.
like,
no, I mean, like that's the main thing is that I think he'd be a good player potentially, but we'll see. I'd rather spend 60 on him than 150 on Wirtz.
Would love to have him. Would actually love to have him. I think that he's great. We spent an entire 2 years when we had our pod with our Wolves fan on there after he left, or a year, being like, probably should have kept this guy. Probably should have kept this guy. Probably should have kept this guy. And I think that like to be as successful as he has been at a club like the club he's been at, it's like awesome. Like, give me that guy. Like, because he wants to play whatever. But I think that the main point is, I almost don't think that position's the most important position to even be thinking about right now, because we're not going to replace him. There's not going to be an all-out replacement. The biggest transfer we're going to make this season is a healthy Rodri. Straight up. Like, that's the most important person we're bringing in. And then I honestly, like, as much as I was saying, like, just shoot. Like, the back four, let's figure this out, maybe. I don't know. Like, I just think that, like, the middle, if Rodri's back and healthy, the midfield and the middle of the pitch kind of just becomes so much less important, which sounds crazy. I think I'm making really terrible points on this one, but like it's just.
Oh, you're good. Fire away.
No, that's great.
Just you keep digging. But it's like,
let him cook.
I don't think I am cooking. I think I am not cooking at all. I just feel like if that, yeah. If he comes back, like you put whoever the fuck you want in the middle of the field. Like, let's get some cohesiveness up front where we can actually string together something that can result in chances, and let's just be solid as fuck at the back. Because here's the thing, I just mentioned it. You can't win if you score 0. You also can't lose if you don't give up anything. And it's way too easy for us to give up goals lately. And it's just, I don't know. That's, again, where I'm at.
No, you're right. It's I mean, we obviously have Nico G, who's just, I think Pep is just backed up, and it's just giving all of our new players, Hayes, Kuznov. Obviously, we saw Echeverry in, and he's doing his thing, and Pep basically was just like, look,
that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I know it was a shock that I put Echeverry in. Like, he's been absolutely lethal in practice in the small spaces, and that was exactly what we needed in this game. And he did. He had a bunch of really good chances. I just think Pep senses how hot the fan base has been right now, and it's just taking a step back, letting them learn. Kuznov is getting better at his English. I assume Hayes is doing the same thing. The whole Nico G disappearing, that hasn't actually shocked me at all. He's a little aggressive when we lose the ball, and he kind of needs to learn the calmer part of the game, but everything else about him is fantastic. I agree that once we get Rodri back, that's a huge thing. It really who you put next to him. Morgan Gibbs-White is more of a Kovacic replacement than he is a KDB replacement, because he's a person who does most of his damage on the ball, making progressive runs with the ball, and that's more of a Kovacic type. And all of these other names, I guess, like Danny Olmo, I will fucking rage. I think it's like Isco. Danny Olmo is the modern day Isco, where it's just the name that people are purposely using Man City to try to raise his value. But Barca, we are not helping you financially. I know Pep still loves you. He just brought you guys up 2 days ago. Like, leave them alone. They got far in the Champions League. They've won La Liga. Let them get their own money. We do not need to be helping this club out of all of their 15 levers.
I do feel like, and again, not being like on the inside on anything. Like, I'm getting my news from X and from like Transfer Market and whatnot, and like the list of names, I'm just like, sure. There's none of these names make me excited. But I think that's last episode we talked about this. Is there any name out there that there really is like you're just like gotta go get him? And I just don't think there is right now.
Xavi Simmons, he's on the
interesting one.
I love that dude.
Interesting. I'll let you guys battle this one.
I think it's more of, I have heard this fucking kid's name since he was like 15 years old. So I think it's just more of that. And he's become a very good professional soccer player. So I just think and I would take him. I'm still salty about losing out on João Neves. I thought that João Neves would have been
a game changer.
An absolutely perfect signing, and that's just not going to happen. Like, he will be a PSG player probably for a decade. And honestly, props to them. It's a fantastic signing. And that was probably the one who I would want City to bring in. The other player, I don't know if it's pronounced it, Reinders from AC Milan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I watch AC Milan for work often, and he's never like popped off for me. Not in a bad way. That isn't to say I have to watch work for Christian Pulisic. So it's really the only person that I'm like paying attention to, or Yunus Musa, I should say. But he's never like popped out for me in a bad way. But you do the whole thing. You go on, you watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and you're like, oh, this is the greatest midfielder of all time. So I've just he's someone that I might be a little bit excited for. Not as much that I think that he's going to be as creative as KDB. I really do think that this might be like full Phil Foden, you have the keys to the castle. Like, I really do think that this is like, you are the guy. And I think that that's what I can only, it's kind of cope at this point. Like, it's just hope that like, hey, you're that guy now, and you are going to carry this team, and you are going to be the playmaker. And then you're going to put a bunch of pieces around you that can kind of recycle the ball and do everything else and maintain control. And we'll see. It's this summer and this season, I think will probably honestly define the next like 3 or 4 years of this club.
I love that the people that you're excited about just have to have really bad SEO. Like we got to know nothing about them essentially.
I'm serious. I don't know who the fuck Rodri was. He was like, this guy's been at
1,000%.
We're getting that an Atleti midfielder who's there for a year, but they gave him the number. They gave him like the number, whatever it was, like the number 14 or something, which is like a very important number for Atleti players. And they gave it to him, and they were all upset that he left. And it's like, I didn't know who he was. I knew who Bernardo was because, like, oh, that's the dude that megged the fuck out of Yaya Toure in the Champions League. Like, I remembered that. Like, but other than that, I didn't know who Bernardo was. No one knew who Ederson was. Anyone that claimed to have known who Ederson was a liar.
Yeah.
You know, Ruben Diaz, there's the clip of him that, I don't know if you remember that clip when they signed him, of that terrible slide tackle that he gave up. That would be like constantly making the rounds when he was playing in Portugal. It's like the less I know about a player, the more I trust Cheeky to have made a like proper decision. Yeah. So when it's some random midfielder that plays in Italy, I like it.
And that's good because that's Viana's game.
Yeah.
Real quick, Reinders, also just an amazing football manager pickup. That's the only reason I knew who he was. But just incredible. I had a couple Napoli saves where I was like, I've got to get this guy. I know we're going to go through like the level of like faith we have in these last 2 games, but what is the level of faith you both have 1 to 10 on the summer window? Because I think that's the other thing too, is like there's nothing out there, but I also just don't feel like I'm at a 3.
Oh,
like straight up. I don't want to say.
Actually, I'm saying because, but I'm not
to
much.
be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm at like a 6. I'm not actually not much higher. Like now that I think about it, I'm like I'm not that much higher.
It's not that I don't have faith in Viana or Cheeky to find players. It's not that I don't trust them, and look, I think a lot of this is also that Roger needs to come back and Foden needs to be the player that he is. And I think if those 2 things happen, a lot of this will kind of wash out. But this needs to be a like summer of 2017-esque window. That's what it is. And that's a really hard thing to do where it's like, hey, you need to sign like 4 players and they need to be cornerstones of your team for the next decade. And that's like a very, very difficult thing to do. And there's no guarantee that it happens again. If it does, Pep's going to sign another extension. If it happens, Pep will stay here longer and like the ball will keep on rolling. If it doesn't, he might walk away next year.
Yeah. I think I've already mentally. You guys are still thinking he's going to sign back on. Like he's been. We did a podcast last year.
He signed an extension 6 months ago when City had their worst run of form in 2 decades. What really bothers it's 2 things. Like he knows that no other club is going to spend the money.
Sure.
That City are going to. That's the first thing. And the second thing from that too is like before it used to always be, hey, Cheeky's here, he has a system here. He doesn't have that anymore. But that's the main thing is no club's going to spend the money like City's going to spend it. And I think because of that, he will stay there. But I don't know. Did y'all see the Bernardo quote yesterday?
Yes. Yep. I actually have it. If I have it pulled up.
That did not blow up the way that I expected it to blow up. But basically he was like, we all know it has to happen, and it's up to like the club's hierarchy to make that happen. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Does that just mean like there's a lot of players need to go, or is there like does the boss have to go?
Dude, it would be so interesting. I'm going to sound ignorant again, but I feel like the club has been run PR-wise so well that like there's more leaks coming out of the Cleveland Guardians clubhouse about stuff than Man City. And it's like a top 10 international sporting like club, like, right? It's like, how do I know more about, our 8-hitter and what happened in the clubhouse? Then it's just crazy. I don't know. Like, it'd be so interesting to see.
Cancelo was shipped out overnight for allegedly getting into a fight with Pep, and it's been like 4 years, and we still have no idea what actually happened.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that is fair. Like,
but do you think it's like Pep's kind of like a mafia don? Where it's like, you can get in a fight with you, you're gone. But if you bring this up ever again, I'll make sure you don't have a job here, or like anywhere. Like I could see that. Like people probably think of his word as so important. Maybe I'm putting a tinfoil hat on now, where it's like Pep respects the fact that you want to butt heads, but like don't talk shit about it when you leave because there's more ways that he can kind of fuck you up than anything else. I got a feeling. Not that I think he's vindictive. I'm kind of just thinking out loud now.
No, I like it. I mean, obviously he does have some power, but
yeah,
people tend to. Well, I think it's one of those things. When you get shipped away, if you speak badly about Pep, you almost sound more bitter than
for sure.
Like saying truth. That's why, like, they're retired players. Yeah, exactly. Like, who was it? The treat, Evra. He just talked about how Saf could not be a manager nowadays. He was like, he literally was an evil human being. Like literally, he would abuse us. He would throw things at us, but he got the job done. And I honestly believe that Pep probably did similar things where he would be like, I will ruin your fucking life if you make another bad pass. But times have changed and you got to be kinder and nicer and more honest. And
see,
I think even
he seem more positive.
Yeah,
he does.
His whole thing Sorry,
Do it.
like
No,
his,
do
but
it,
his,
do it.
like the whole like the no bad faces, and like obviously some of that's PR, and the club's gonna make everything look good. But like I think of those like the videos that came out where he was like I think it was in the Netflix documentary where he was like running around giggling while they were practicing, and it was truly bizarre. And he was like saying like Bernard, like it was something like Bernardi. He was talking to Bernardo about it, and it was like it's one of those things where I think he will yell when he needs to yell. But it does very much seem like vibes are good, good vibes type of style.
I think that you're like right. I think that it's almost like it's not an everyday occurrence. So like when it is like a Cancelo thing, when you get him to that point, it's just like, oh no, you fucked up. Like there's no coming back to this. Because again, Cancelo's another person.
Out of here.
Cancelo's another person where I was like, this motherfucker's good. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then it was fine, but I don't know. I'm too much of a fan, I think. It's terrible.
The quote, I guess, that stuck out to me most, going back to that Bernardo, because he's actually said a whole lot. But because I know we've got people used to winning every year. People demand this team to win every year. Football is a tough sport, and it's not easy to beat these teams, especially in Premier League. Like, Palace has a lot of individual championship. Our standard needs to be champions again. And then he even said how if it was up to me, or no, he's like, I actually won't even give you my opinion. It sounds like he wants a lot of people out of that. He wants to stay. And there are so many other players that I have questioned how they feel about this club, and Bernardo Silva is not one of them. Like,
first time in 4 years though, he wants to stay after a year though, right? That's positive. That's a positive.
He's an ultimate professional. I have nothing but like I don't know if y'all have ever had a job or lived in a place that you don't like.
Hell yeah.
Probably multiple people have had that. That's like a very normal human experience.
Yes.
I could not imagine experiencing that, going into a high stress job every day and being like at times, arguably the most important person on the pitch. Like like the big games against Liverpool, against Tuchel's Chelsea, when it was like, hey, we're gonna give the ball to Bernardo and he's gonna like spin around 4 times to beat the press, and then we're gonna like set up the attack. And he like hated life while doing all of that. I will love that man like till the end of days for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let us end the show with talking about the final 2 games. We welcome Bournemouth. That we travel to take on Fulham. Both teams are comfortably mid-table clubs. No chances of European football, even if they win their next 2 games. But both teams, the players they have are kind of shits. So, like, I think they really would embrace the idea of destroying Man City's Champions League run. So, like why can't we get Liverpool, who obviously could give 2 fucks about the rest of the season now that they have clinched? Like, they are just like, whatever, whoever score on us, we don't care. We're heading back to Ibiza the second this final whistle blows. We're going back to party. 1 to 10, 1 being not confident at all, 10 being highest confidence you could have. How confident are you that City are going to get 4 points out of the next 2 games?
I'm a 3.
3.
I don't. I just like look, but here the two sides of the coin, right? Where are we at?
Yes.
We're bargaining again. 2 sides of the coin. I feel like a 3. Like, it's been a tough year. I feel like it's been like I can't put faith into anything. I can't trust in anything. We could lose both games. That'd be like really rare. I don't think that'll happen. 2 draws, I actually feel like is like that. That's DEFCON, the bad one, up or down. I forget what it is. That's bad. But like, I don't trust in a win. The thing that is working for us, I'm not superstitious, but in the office, I am a little stitious. The Guardians just got swept by the Reds. The Cavs are out of the playoffs. We lost to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final. A ball's got to bounce my way at some point, right? That's just what I'm telling myself. So I'm a 3, but like hopefully you guys can talk me into a 5. It's bad.
So I have it pulled up. of like their results. Bournemouth have won like 2 out of their last 13 matches. And it's like one was a shock win against Arsenal. So like they can beat like top teams. Like they did just beat Arsenal a couple weeks ago. But they have not been as good of a form that they were like, 2, 3, 4 months ago when they were like pushing for Europe. It hasn't really been there. City also did beat them in the FA Cup, and historically Pep has fucking dominated Bournemouth. And part of that is also because they were managed by Eddie Howe, and Pep is just same thing with Newcastle. Like Newcastle had a little bit of like success against us, but for the most part, Pep has like batted Newcastle away as well. They play, they attack, and Pep solves it and beats them on the reg. So honestly, against Bournemouth, I'm not as overall. I would say I'm probably at like a 7 or 8. Because same thing with Fulham. When you look at Fulham's results, yeah, they did beat Liverpool in a big win. Other than that, it's like they beat Southampton and they beat Tottenham when they were like absolutely at like their like struggling the absolute most. And they beat Brentford at home, and Brentford at home is actually terrible this season. Like it's just their away record is really why they've been so well. At home, they've like barely done anything for the last few months. These are 2 incredibly winnable games. To be completely honest, I don't love playing like 2 days after a cup final, 3 days after a cup final. Like that's the part where I think the squad's going to be absolutely exhausted. But there's no excuses that these 2 games should be wins. These are teams that are not in good form, that have nothing to play for. We have everything to play for. These should be wins, and it's incredibly embarrassing if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, very embarrassing is incredibly accurate. I am with you. I would say, let's see, 7. I'm at a 7. And the reason why is because, like, if you look at Bournemouth, if you look at both of these teams, they have players that probably aren't going to be there next year and could be looking at their future and not wanting to hurt themselves. Bournemouth, Kirkes, Fusion, or however you say his name is, he's already going to Real Madrid. That's already been confirmed. We have Justin Kluivert, there's Semenyo, but I think all 4 of those players are leaving. Fulham, they actually just have a team of very unserious players who are just kind of dogs when they want to be, but the season's kind of over. We should be able to win all of these games.
Adama Traore, man, he's going to be just PTSD.
Yeah.
Wolves PTSD.
Go back to the old days, like
the
Wayback Machine. It's been a while.
A French fullback who cannot be named was put in a blender by that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am hopeful. I have to go. I'm in Arkansas. My sister graduated from culinary school this weekend, and so I was here celebrating her. And tomorrow I'm gonna have to go Little Rock.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to. It's all right. So I have to go to a bar. I got to figure out a bar, whatever the closest bar is, to go and watch the game, USA Network, because my mom doesn't have it available. So I'm going to have to go ask a bunch of Southerners who probably have never watched a football game in their lives to put on this game and watch me scream at it, which I'm used to it in Iowa. That happens, Iowa, Illinois. That's what happens all the time there. But the Southerners, they have their way of, I guess, letting you know how they feel about the situation, and they also love making fun of people.
Best dish your sister ever cooked for you?
Not unfortunately, she's a patissier. Like she does pastries. Nice. So yeah. she bakes good stuff, but I'm actually like a savory person. Her thing that she's been actually killing right now is a brown butter cinnamon cupcake. And then also there's this banana pudding brownie that she makes.
That sounds fantastic. I would also check out the City subreddit. I would throw out like a bat symbol on the City subreddit and be like, Razorbacks of r/MCFC. Where can I go to watch the game?
Woo City Suey. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Well, shoot. I guess I'm out of everything on in our like tab list. Is there anything that you feel? Because the next time we talk again, the season's gonna be over. Hopefully, there will be some moves. It will be. I mean, we could probably next month. We could either do right before Club World Cup starts, or Club World Cup has officially started. But yeah, is there any final thoughts or things?
Real quick, the kit. Happy, not happy.
Oh yes, I love
Let
it.
down, not let down. Dylan,
I'm a
don't
simple
like-
dude. I'm a simple dude.
Indifferent. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it.
Okay.
What about the potential third kit, the black one?
A massive fan. Massive fan. To steal your line, I had a tweet go like semi-viral. I was like, I'm a simple man. City should have a black kit more often than not. And I absolutely love it. 13-14 away is like one of my all-time kits. Absolutely fantastic. The black and gold. Like, I do think that should be something that is in rotation, often.
I love the sash. So I like anytime one has a sash, I'm kind of cool with it. I know it's not like a real sash. It's like a streaky sash, but I'm not mad at it, essentially.
It's a Puma sash.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I will say this. Crunk, I think I've talked to you about this. Puma's not my favorite kit sponsor, like kit provider. I've not been the biggest fan of the third kits for us ever. I feel like I think there's been a couple that have been decent, but like the Sex on the Beach one was terrible. The only one I liked was the Manchester one, the one where it was for the nightclub, right? Was that I'm saying that correctly? Mm-hmm. I like that one, but the third kits have been kind of a miss. So if this one, I haven't seen any mock-ups or anything, so I got to go look at that after we get out of here.
Yeah, it's just classic and simple. It's just black collar. There's like a little white stripe on the collar. They
super clean.
The Paisley one, I forgot about that. That was interesting.
Hey, it's better than whatever the fucking one with no badge and just said Man City.
Yes.
Fucking physical education ass T-shirt.
Yeah. I knew we'd find rock bottom. I was just, hovering above it, and then you landed it.
That being said, the 22-23 kit, the treble kit, that is an all-timer.
You're correct.
All-timer, center badge, absolutely fantastic. To have that be the kit that City won the treble in as well, just like.
No lies. You're correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. I'm excited to see this away. Have you guys saw the supposed Club World Cup kits? They're making kits specifically for the Club World Cup.
I was hoping those were fake.
I was hoping they're fake as well.
It's awful.
I mean, I guess I don't mind the one that the fact that they're making jerseys specifically for competition, that definitely feels very Puma. And also just like money grabby, and like that's half the reason why people are pissed off at Man City at the first place, because they just with the ticket prices and everything, they just seem so like money grabby for one of the most rich companies, football clubs in the world. It's very frustrating. But hey,
par for the course though.
Yeah. You just gotta wait till November and they'll be on sale for. Because I saw somebody, they got the away kit this year. It's on sale for like $25.
Oh.
Yeah, World Soccer Shop's running crazy sales.
Have to pick it up.
Yeah, $25. That's a good deal.
Luka doesn't have a kit yet. I gotta do that.
Oh, let's go! Oh,
there you go. Maybe not the best year to get him a kit though. I mean, gotta hold out, probably. Right?
I mean, he'll grow out of it real fast, but that's about it.
Dylan, you weren't. Yeah, that's true. I mean, all right, you weren't on the lit stream I was on. I actually questioned. I think it was Luca's fault that we were this bad this year. So I apologize to you personally. Sorry for procreating and like.
That's who I was blaming. I didn't want to bring it up on the podcast. But I got to tell my girlfriend about it. I was like, it's this motherfucker's fault.
I could tell. I mean, I could tell deep down you're like seething. You're just like, there's this new City fan out there. It's his fault.
He's the problem.
I pitched I think Sharpie was on there and so was Tarek, and I was like, you know what I want to do? and I'm not good at coding. Don't have a lot of skills, hard skills, but that's fine. I think it'd be really sick to create a website that just says islucaawinner.com, and it's every team that we root for and his aggregated record, and it'll just say yes with the record below. I'm still toying with it. I might make it, but something I thought about. Islucaawinner.com.
I feel like that's like $15 on Fiverr.com type of thing.
Named after Doncic?
No, yeah, no. He's a C, not a K. But again, kind of since he's entered the world, it's been upside down for City at the very least, and Luka's all over because I'm sure Luka Doncic is happy to be in LA, but it is what it is.
You a film guy?
Yeah.
Luca Guadagnino, the director. He's done. He did like Calling by Your Name, Queer.
Yeah. Another great Luka. I'm just trying to add to the mix. There's not enough. And I did say this. He's gonna have that awkward moment, and I think Sharpie brought this up, where it's like, "Hey, what's your name?" Luka Whitaker. So it's like just a really great handshake between the Italians and the British for this child, and it's just like a great time. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, shoot, my show bros, please plug yourselves and let people know where they can find you. John, we'll just go right back to you.
Yeah, so I haven't had anything the past couple of times, and now I finally do. Next month, I take my sommelier test. So
let's go.
I've been doing that, and I've been chronicalizing the journey, which we have a Instagram that we've already had out. We've done a few things on, but it's called Verjuice, VERJUICE. If you're ever moving to New York and you want a private tasting and don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it, that's kind of the future plans for me a little bit. So I'll plug that. Go ahead and follow it. It's Verjuice NYC, yeah. So I finally have something.
When you get that up and running for real, or also send it to me because I do have a lot of people in New York. So
love it. Yeah. Verjuice NY. Go check it out.
No.
And then for me, it's just @_ Dillon Meehan, DILLONMEEHAN. That's simple. I've been tweeting a lot less this season just because the City fandom has been quite toxic, and it's just very easy for me to just swipe up, cancel out of the app, play some Oblivion Remastered, and call it a day.
Yeah, actually, great for you. That's like healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't get involved in it. It's been real frustrating. Like there's like a few players that just everyone, brings their pitchforks out for, and I can't get involved.
Yeah, everybody going after Akanji after the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It's just like he does make silly mistakes, but I feel like that's just kind of been everybody this season. So can't really put it on him.
You don't have a Champions League final win without that guy, so it gets passed in my book. I don't know.
Love it.
Perspective.
All right. Well, we will be back soon. Shout out to everyone who is watching on FanFest, who's watching the replay on FanFest. Appreciate you for the people who then are listening to the audio version later, watching this on YouTube. Do the things that you're supposed to do: subscribe, like, rate, review, any of those things. We appreciate you. Damn it. I need to put this on the list. I need to think of a nice little sign out for
Outro.
us. Yeah. Well, anyway, goodbye.